I'm Phoenix, and I am the president of the BSU, and I'd like to welcome you to the 7th Annual BSU Black History Month Assembly.
Hello everyone, my name is Yana Chisholm and I am the Vice President of the BSU. 我哋歡迎大家來參加黑人會第7個集會。
Now we will hand the microphone to Ms. Sito, who will say a few words.
而家我哋會請司徒校長。
好，非常多謝，好各位小朋友早晨。歡迎大家嚟一齊咧，我哋今日慶祝同埋紀念咧美國黑人嘅歷史。咁喺呢度，我哋首先好多謝各位家長同埋咧各位同學、各位小朋友同埋太先生咧，為我哋準備精彩嘅節目。咁今日我哋唔單止咧會睇佢哋嘅表演，而且咧我哋會應該學到好多嘢嘅。好，我哋鼓掌歡迎。
Good morning, class. Oh, we gotta get a little more energy. Good morning, class. In order to be successful, we have to be teachable. Repeat after me. I am teachable. I may not be able to do all things now. But I am teachable. I may not be real famous now. But I am teachable. I may not know the way now. But I am teachable. I may not be rich now. But I am teachable. I may not know now. But I am teachable. I am loved. I am beautiful. I am intelligent. I am good. I am strong. I am free. I am a good reader. I am going to college. And I am saved. And I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Very good, class. And now for our daily news.
Slavery. That's the place everybody likes to start Negro history. Yeah, ignorant black men being brought over from African chains. Terrible thing, slavery. But the way slavery is taught, it sort of takes a sting out of it. Because the way it's usually taught, people think that we Afro-Americans started with long grass skirts, like the case of the Tarzan movies. And though America gave us slavery, America kindly gave us religion and a liquor to education. And when we get more jobs and more education from slavery. But we had something before we left that.
Now for our breaking news.
whether recent Rome or but a distant dream, one civilization conceived the impossible and built the unimaginable.
The Egyptians worked on a much grander scale than anyone did for millennia.
Enriched by their conquests and empowered by their gods, the indomitable pharaohs of Egypt built the ancient world's first stone monolith, its tallest building, oldest dam, most impenetrable fortress, greatest city, and the ultimate monument to one ruler's ego.
It's a clear message. Do not mess with Egypt.
Egypt's engineers boldly redefined the limits of architectural possibility. But their road to eternal glory was riddled with blood, betrayal, and outright disaster. While flooding consumes every corner of Egypt, its new capital city, Memphis, stays dry, thanks to the massive 49-foot dam that surrounds it. It is the first dam ever built in recorded history. The driving force behind the dam and the city it protects is Menes, the first pharaoh of Egypt's first dynasty.
The Egyptians didn't really need to worry about roads or wheels because they had the Nile, because the river would flow south to north and then produce the wind from north to south. Then the Egyptians would dig canals to get you in your east-west directions and again if you wanted to go anywhere else. So there were great canal diggers, and the engineers would construct canals that were kilometers and kilometers long. And this was used to transport all kinds of things, whether it was large numbers of people, whether it was grain, food, stone.
Today, the pyramids still stand as the ancient world's main attraction, but they were no overnight success. It took 6 pharaohs, 4 generations of builders, and numerous engineering disasters to achieve such perfect proportions. The pyramid builders began their quest for architectural perfection at a place called Saqqara. It was there in the year 2667 BC that an enterprising young pharaoh named Djoser claimed the throne and commissioned the world's very first stone superstructure. His tomb project would solidify Egypt's standing as the world's most advanced civilization and propel his pioneering architect into the pantheon of the gods.
Which country or nation do you think set the standards for education? Let's go to the news.
Good afternoon. This is Nixa, and I'm here today with the Alice Farming News. I've been asking students, which country or nation do you think set the standard for education?
Was it India?
Spain?
Is it Italy? How about the United States?
China? Actually, the correct answer is Africa. And the University of Timbuktu set that standard. Let's take you through this video.
Travel to Timbuktu from every corner of the African continent and many parts of the world in pursuit of knowledge and training, organized around 3 great universities: University of St. Corey, Jinglebert, and City Yaki. Jinglebert University was built nearly 700 years ago under the rule of Mansa Musa in 1325. The University of Timbuktu had 4 degrees or levels in its curriculum. The primary degree. At this level, the students learned and mastered volumes of books of sciences, including the Holy Quran, learned the Arabic language, and learned to communicate and write effectively in various African languages. The secondary degree. At this level, the students are introduced to the different branches of knowledge: grammar, jurisprudence, mathematics, geography, history, physics, astronomy, chemistry, and the science of the purification of the heart, soul, and mind. The students also spend time learning and trade. University trade shops offer classes in business, carpentry, farming, fishing, construction, shoemaking, tailoring, navigation, and much more. A superior degree. The curriculum was highly specialized. The students studied under the guidance of a professor. It involved advanced research and extensive writing. Graduation was based upon a student's excellent moral character and his mastery of the sacred knowledge. The Circle of Knowledge. This was a unique group of imams, scholars, and professors. It was here that the most important and crucial issues of the empires and the world were discussed and debated. Leaders of the time, such as Askid Muhammad of the Songhai Empire, Mansa Musa of the Mali Empire, Sheikh Ahmadu of the Fulani Caliphate of Macedon, the Emirs and the Sultans of the provinces of the Sudan, sent crucial questions to the scholars of Timbuktu. Scholars who received questions would make copies, then distribute them among the members of the Circle of Knowledge. Each scholar would individually research the issue. When they were all done, they would gather together and share their answers, which would later be published in manuscripts. The manuscripts described in great detail the questions or issues, and then the responses given by the scholar.
A stolen legacy. Who was that guy? I think he was a samurai. Do you guys think he was a samurai? Who do you think he was? I'm about to show you one video.
Hello, boys and girls. Did you see someone here a bit earlier? Were they dressed differently? Did they act differently? Who was it? It was me? Oh. So sometimes people wear clothing, they wear masks, they wear things, and they act differently, yes? Was that really who I was? No, I mean, alright? So when I take those clothes off, am I that samurai looking person? No, I mean, aren't I? Well, when we talk about a stolen legacy, A means absolute, something that happens, for sure, definitely, the A. Stolen is to steal something good? Say no. We should never steal, right? Should we steal our friend's candy? No. Should we steal someone's shoes if we don't like them? No. If they have shoes that we like and we don't have them, then should we take them? No. No, we should not. So A means definitely. Stolen means someone took something from you that they weren't given. Is that a good thing? No. And a legacy is the history that that person and their family and their culture has. Behind, when you watch the movies, when you go to plays, you see people who wear costumes, but they're playing a role, aren't they? Sometimes someone can be a mother and they're playing a mean person on television. Is that really what they're about? No. They're just acting out a part, aren't they? Have you ever played Superman? Or Supergirl? No. But you played a character that you're not really that person, is that right? Do you stay that person for your whole life? No, you come back to being your mother's son or your mother's daughter, yes? The point that I'm making is, the black people that came to this country, they were taken from their families. And they were given a role to play, just like a movie actor or actress. And they were told to play a part that they really didn't want to play. They were told to present themselves as something that they're really not. They were told that you're not able to read, and that you cannot write, and that you're not smart enough, and that you're not beautiful enough, and that you're not loved, and that you're not human. We are all human, aren't we? We're all beautiful, aren't we? And so, I want to tell you about two very special people that were taken from their homes. The first one, please come forward. Tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Thomas Fuller, and I'm a mathematician.
This is Thomas Fuller. America called him a slave. But Thomas Fuller, when he came from Africa, when he got here at the age of about 12, he was a mathematical genius. He had slave clothing on, and he had been beat up and on a ship for months and months. But as I'm dressed here at home, he was dressed like a royal prince. But then someone else put a uniform on him, a costume, and told him that he was a slave. But see, he was not. Because of how he was dressed and how he was treated, did not mean that he was not beautiful, smart, and lovable. He was able to do mathematics in his head faster than college professors being able to do it with pen and paper. And it wasn't until he was 70 years old, some great city officials from another state had him brought to them. They said, you know what? We want you to tell us how many seconds if a person was 70 years old, 17 days, and 21 hours? How many seconds would that compute to? All of the college professors in mathematics started to write on paper, and this wonderful Mr. Fuller did the math in his head and beat everybody. And he told them 2,580,300. The mathematician says he's wrong. His number is greater than ours, and ours is correct. He said, but what you failed to do was you did not add in the leap year. Every 7 years there's a, 7 years? 4 years, there's a 4 years. There's a leap year, so you add a day. And when they computed the leap year in, they found out that Mr. Thomas Fuller was correct. And the person that was his slave owner said that he was still sharp at 70 years old as he was at 12. Now, did America teach him that? No. He had that when he came from Africa. Will you say Africa? One more thing you need to know about Mr. Thomas Fuller. He could not read or write in English. He could not read or write, but he could do advanced math. Could he read and write at home? Say yes. Where was his home? So if he was that brilliant, he had to be taught somewhere, didn't he? So where was he taught, do you think? Give Mr. Fuller a hand, please. Another distinguished guest. Will you please come and introduce yourself? All right.
I'm Caesar, and I'm from the antidote to rattlesnake.
This title, Caesar, you know, we're talking about, they put the costume and title on Caesar, a slave, found the cure for rattlesnake bites. Is rattlesnake bites dangerous? Can they kill you? Yeah, if they bite you and you don't get to a doctor in time, you could die. But this person was supposed to be a slave, but he wasn't a slave. He was a young man that was able to do medicine in his own country. But when he was stolen and brought to America, he didn't forget what he knew. But because he wanted America to be better, he shared his knowledge with the Americans. So instead of hundreds of people dying from rattlesnake bites, he developed a cure. And both of these distinguished guests that you've seen date back to the 1700s. Will you give them a hand, please?
I'm Primus, a doctor.
Will you say hello, Mr. Primus? Mr. Primus was a physician, a doctor, not trained here in America, but trained back home in Africa. He was given the title slave, but he wasn't a slave. He was given the costume of slave, but he wasn't a slave. When his master died, he took over his medical practice without going to medical school and treated black patients as well as white patients. So you see, the title that we may have doesn't belong to us. The stolen legacy means who we really are as black people, as African American people, is that we descend from Africa, a very rich culture, one that's very deep in understanding, and more importantly, one that's very deep in love. Will you give my distinguished guests a hand? Now, if someone were to take a student from school, would the parents be upset? They would? And it would trigger something called a what?
Amber Alert.
A what?
Amber Alert.
A what?
Amber Alert.
There's an Amber Alert. Someone took our babies. Somebody took our babies. Where are our babies? Where beat the drums, let them know someone's taking our children, taking our families, taking our dads, taking our moms to a place we don't know where they're going. There's an Amber Alert. Somebody get some help.
John, the black people struggle for decent opportunity in this country. It's tied up so tightly with education until you can't separate them. It all started when we were brought here as slaves from Africa.
We were snatched from our native land.
Herded like cattle onto the stifling slave ships.
Tossed brutally onto the shores of the new world.
We who spoke Igbo, Hausa, and Indian were forced to learn our master's native tongue.
Our tribal customs that we had followed for centuries were outlawed. The order of the day was to follow the whims of our master. Learn and speak only his language.
Worship only his God.
Imitate only his culture. Learn what he wanted us to learn. This was the curriculum of the Black Man's first school in America.
During the early days of slavery in America, Negroes were educated or trained for whatever work their master wanted done. Slaves were taught to work in the fields, look after livestock, cook and act as servants, and serve aboard ship. Some were skilled craftsmen. In fact, they brought many of these skills with them. There was no school for them, but many did learn on their own to read and write. Some of these slaves escaped. There are newspapers still on file.
The first African American schools were made by the church.
When did black people start going to school in America?
Weren't our first schools started by the churches?
That's right. For example, one religious man named Elias New founded a school in New York City back in 1704.
Elias New taught slaves how to read and write along with their 10 Commandments and other religious studies. The slaves were eager to learn, but in 1712 there was a slave revolt in New York City, and many masters blamed New for it, saying that a slave who learns to read and write will become unhappy being a slave. But the royal governor made it possible for Mr. New's school to continue, and the slaves from New's school would take it upon themselves to teach other slaves.
I am Booker T. Washington. I value industrial education, and this is my story.
I'm W. E.B. Du Bois, and I value higher learning.
When studying the scholarly debates between Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois, one must take a look at their early experiences and understand their positions taken and strategies they used to improve the conditions of blacks in the United States. The debate between the two was centered around education. Education was not the only issue up for debate, but it was essential. Washington took a position that focused on industrial education, while Du Bois focused on higher education. Washington was born into slavery in Franklin County, Virginia. Washington spent a significant amount of his childhood After emancipation, he worked menial jobs for much of the remainder of his childhood. Washington's strong desire to learn allowed him to gain a basic childhood education while retaining other jobs. Wanting to further his education, he attended Hampton Institute. The focus of Hampton Institute was vocational and industrial education. After his 3 years of study at Hampton, Washington was persuaded that industrial education was the way to improve the conditions of the Black race. Du Bois was born in Massachusetts. He did not experience much racism as a child. He was an excellent student. He possessed an aptitude for learning. He finished high school at the young age of 16 and proceeded to further his education at Fisk, which was located in the South. While at Fisk, Du Bois experienced racism and segregation firsthand. Du Bois responded to the new experience of segregation without fear. Du Bois was quoted, "A new loyalty and allegiance replaced my American. Henceforward, I was a Negro." After he completed his studies at Fisk, Du Bois went on to study in Berlin and Harvard. He became the first African American to receive a doctorate from Harvard. Du Bois believed that the higher learning of a talentless intellect would uplift the race.
I am Fanny Coppins. I am the first Black woman principal, and this is my story.
I'm Mary Out, and I was the first Black woman to start in college, and this is my story.
She walked 5 miles every day to Maysville Industrial Institute for classes held in a local church. Mary studied reading, writing, arithmetic, and the Bible. Her thirst for knowledge impressed her first teacher, Miss Wilson.
4 years later, Mary graduated and returned to the farm because there were no more schools for African Americans in her country. Mary took advantage of her education to protect her father from being cheated when he took the cotton to the gin. Often she corrected mistakes made by the person who weighed the cotton. She realized that her father and other farmers probably had been swindled many times. Last year, she accepted a teaching position at Haynes Normal and Industrial Institute and moved to Augusta, Georgia. Lucy Lane had founded this school in 1895 in a church basement for African American children. The Presbyterian Board of Missions paid for the first classroom building.
While working with Miss Lane, Mary began to think about starting a school.
By 1904, news reached Savannah that the Florida East Coast Railway was building a railroad throughout the state. This meant plenty of new jobs. Bethune also saw this as an opportunity to open a new school for families moving to the region. She felt funding could come from wealthy winter residents in Daytona Beach. When Mary and her family arrived in Daytona, they came to a city divided racially. African Americans lived apart from whites in the worst section. This was where Bethune wanted her school.
But she did have a goal, and her goal was that she was going to teach African Americans.
Without faith
nothing is possible. With it, nothing is impossible. Faith in God is the greatest power. The great two is faith in oneself.
I am Ruby Bridges, and I am the first African American student to integrate an all-white school. Here is my story.
I was one of 4 6-year-old children, girls, to integrate the public school system here in New Orleans in 1960. When I look at the Norman Rockwell painting and I see myself, I always say that the lesson I took away was a lesson that Dr. King tried to teach all of us, and that was that we should never look at a person and judge them by the color of their skin. I crossed a picket line, a mob every day for a whole year. There was a woman there to greet me. She did everything she could to make my day fun. She not only taught me, but she read stories to me, we played games. I knew that if I got past the mob and inside of the building, I was going to have a great day. And it was because of her. So she showed me her heart. And I began to realize that there was no way she was going to people outside.
What, you may ask, is so important about studying history?
I'm Carter G. Woodson. I'm an educator, and this is my story.
What, you may ask, is so important about studying history? The answer is as simple as it is important. If you knew your culture's history was directly linked to great writers, powerful leaders, successful business people, and pioneers, wouldn't that make you proud? Wouldn't that inspire you to do great things yourself? Those who endeavor to understand their own history are paving a path toward a bright future. Carter G. Woodson, the father of Black history, knew that knowledge of the African American experience would be the last way to destroy the chains of slavery, and so he made it his life's passion. Before Carter Woodson began publishing his own writings and those of contemporary historians, there were few media outlets that would shed light on the full story of African and African American achievements in the United States. He made sure Americans heard a different side of the story. In 1926, Woodson founded Negro History Week, which later evolved into Black History Month.
Hi, I'm Lisa, and I'm back here today with the Alice Fogg News. In 1960, there was a push for diversity in education. Let's see what our special guest, Bill Cosby, has to say.
No, I can never fit in that. Never get in that at all. This is more like it. Now, what's the whitest thing you know? Whiter than driven snow in the whites of your eyes? Sugar. Non-integrated, non-violent, sweet sugar. But you see, there is a black man in sugar. His name is Norbert Reagan. Norbert Reagan in 1846 invented a vacuum fan, revolutionized the sugar refining industry. Now, you have to dig to find that fact. I mean, it's not much history, but it's still history. Now, what do you stand in? In your shoes. Now, there's just you in shoes, isn't it? No. See, there's a black man standing in your house with you. Sharing your soul and your heel is a man's name is Jan Ernst Metzen. And in 1863, this is one of the kids, Metzeler invented a machine that made mass-produced shoes possible. Now you have to dig around for that fact too. And again, it's not much history, but it's history. Business living in San Francisco. Okay, I want to thank you, Jim Beckworth. Jim Beckworth out of St. Louis, Hunter Trapper, and Honorary Chief of the Crow Tribe of Indians. We had trouble finding you, Jim. Though you helped open the West, you didn't make the books. And how about the 186,000 blacks who fought on the Union side during the Civil War? 38,000 died. How about Teddy Roosevelt's charge of San Juan Hill? It wasn't just the Rough Riders who made it. 4 black regiments went right up on Teddy. They didn't get lost going up the hill. They got lost in the history books. How about the North Pole? Snow White. Well, the first man there was black, Matthew Henson. He spoke Eskimo. And he was Admiral Perry's navigator, and although he made it first to the pole, it didn't quite made it to the history books. And how about your heart? Can we get there? All right. Daniel Hale Williams first performed open heart surgery successfully. And this list could go on forever. Blacks who made it, blacks who made history, but who didn't get into the history text at all. And the strange thing is how little there is about us in the textbooks. Because it isn't important whether a few black heroes got lost or stolen or strayed in America's history textbooks. What's important is why they got left out. We want to thank Mrs. Lovely Phillips and the whole gang here at 4th grade for the brilliant and intelligent artwork that they've done here to make this whole broadcast sing. I want you guys to keep pretending that I'm not here. You're doing a great job, and just keep on drawing and reading and writing and doing what you have to do, because I'm going to talk about some of the kids.
This is the storefront school in Philadelphia. The children are being given a black preparation before they enter the city schools. They're not especially gifted children, they're just from the neighborhood. One black man named John Churchill put it all together and financed it himself.
Right? You understand that? All right. A number is concept of quantity or an amount. That is wrong. No. A number is a concept of quantity or an amount. That is dead wrong.
He's not only teaching you math to children whose ages range from 17 months to 5 years, he's decided to give them the emotional armor they need to protect themselves against the education they're sure to receive when they start kindergarten.
Anybody tell me something wrong? You going to do it? No! What do you want?
I want freedom.
What do you want?
I want my freedom.
No, you have to wait until next week to do it. You can't have it. You wait till next week? What are you?
I'm black and blue.
What is your nationality?
My nationality is Afro-American.
Suppose I got some money in my pocket. Suppose I gave you $1 to say that you're an American Negro. This is money now. Money talks. Money talks. This dollar, if you don't say it, you don't get it. You're an American Negro, aren't you?
No.
You won't have any money. You know you need money, don't you?
Yeah.
You need money to live, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. All you have to say, Leon, is that you're an American Negro. Aren't you an American Negro? Are you an American Negro?
No.
What are you?
I'm black and blue.
What's your nationality?
My nationality is Afro-American.
Very good, man. Keep it up. First down. You had to think about that a minute, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right. All right, everybody. What is your nationality?
My nationality is Afro-American.
All right. What I did is what people are going to think in different ways when you get out of school. They're not going to just come right up to you and give you $1 or say that you're an Afro, you say you're an American Negro, I'll give you $1. But they're going to be very nice to you, some of them, and they're going to try to, get you not to love black. They're going to try to get you to, be something other than you are. They're going to try to make it seem as though you're different from the masses of black people. And they want you to go away. I'll give you special things and you just come along with me and do what I say. But you must reject that. Now, you know what that means? That means you're not going to have the money you'd like to have. Money is not important. We need money, we don't have to buy things, but money is not the thing that we're living for. The only thing that makes a person worth living is being a man, being a woman, being a straight, telling the truth, and living in the truth, and doing the right thing. You understand that? So no matter what happens, I want you all always tell them what?
And can you blame us for overcompensating? I mean, when you take away black history, you got lost, stolen, and strayed. When you think about the kids drawing themselves without faces, and when you remember the fine actors who had to play baboons to make a buck, I guess you gotta give us a sin of pride. Pride. Hubris in the original Greek. It's 300 years we've been in this American melting pot and we haven't been able to melt it yet, and it's a long wait.
Hello, boys and girls. Hello, boys and girls. Hello, teachers. Hello, everybody. It has truly been our pleasure to bring this seventh annual Black History Month assembly to you. So, boys and girls, you're going to be dismissed shortly after Cito Auxiliary comes out. But I just want to make one reference. Did you learn something today? Just raise your hand if you learned something today. Wonderful. Place your hands down. Do you see all of the Post-it notes on that board over there? Yes? Each of you wrote down some of your dreams. Each of you wrote down one of your goals and dreams in life. I saw someone that wanted to be a doctor. I saw someone that wanted the world to have enough food for everyone. I saw another post that said that they wanted world peace. You see, there is no difference between any of us. Our parents want us to go to good schools. Our parents want us to behave. Our parents want us to know that we're loved by them in our community. Our parents want us to grow up and be successful. Is that what really everybody wants? Dr. Martin Luther King says, I have a dream that one day all children, nations will be able to get along. That board represents that we all are very much alike. Sometimes our outside skin color is different, but what we want in life is still the same. We want to feel loved. We want to feel part of a community. We want people to know that we're smart and that we have great things to offer to the world. Is that what you want? In order for us to achieve that, when you look at that board, we all have dream alike. And in order for our dreams to come true globally, we must dream together. We must not dream as a black nation by ourselves. We must not dream as a Chinese nation by ourselves, or a Russian nation, or a Japanese nation by ourselves, because that keeps us by ourselves. But when we dream together as a world, then we can build together. Then we can love together, and then we can grow together. Is that a deal? Will you help to make the world grow and be a better place? Say yes. Say I. I didn't hear you say I. Am. Teachable. You see her hand as she comes up.
Thank you, Mr. Chesham. Can we give all the parents and the students who helped put this together a big hand? Thank you.每一班小朋友一陣間你離開嘅時候，你可以去後面張台度咧攞一杯食物。嗰啲食物咧望住我先，望住我先，係 Nixon 嘅媽咪咧整嘅，係飯同埋豆，飯同埋豆。但係咧可能咧你會覺得有少少辣，或者你唔係好慣嘅。你食嘅時候，如果你唔中意食。你食咗一啖，你話哦太辣啦，唔緊要，你可以放喺垃圾桶。但係，1、2、3，望住我先。 但係我唔要睇到或者聽到小朋友話唔要講一啲冇禮貌嘅説話，同埋唔係尊重別人嘅説話。如果你中意食嘅，好啊，你食咗佢。我非常中意食，我唔怕辣。如果有啲小朋友你覺得辣，你或者唔係好中意食嘅，你就唔緊要。你話我唔係好中意食，你掉去垃圾，唔緊要。好，首先我哋多謝媽咪啦，的神嘅媽咪為我哋煮呢啲飯同埋酒，多謝晒 ，thank you。